Ta-da! The shrouds have lifted and now we can all get a good look at Giant's new Trance 29er. Now before we delve into the bike, let's deal with the elephant in the room, and we're talking about the fact that only a few years ago Giant said it was 275 life, 29ers were dead to them, and that 275 was the way forward. And yet here we are in 2019 with the Trance 29er being introduced to sit alongside the Anthem 29er that was brought into the lineup last year. And predictably, people out there in internet land went crazy, looking to rub Giant's face in it and call them hypocrites. But seriously people, what would you do if you were Giant? I'll tell you what you'd do, you'd make a bloody 29er trail bike, because that's what the market wants. Momentum has swung back towards 29ers in a big way, and it's largely been driven by frame technologies. When Giant introduced the Trance 29er back in 2014 for the first time, boost hub spacing didn't even exist, and things like single ring drivetrains were the exception, not the rule. Fast forward to now and we have a much better understanding of how to make a good handling 29er. Much shorter rear ends have been possible thanks to boost hub spacing, single ring drivetrains. You can get the head angles nice and slack with reduced fork offsets, all of those things that weren't being done 5 years ago and that now allow you to make a 29er handle really well. So what would you have Giant do? Not make a 29er trail bike purely because they've dissed the concept in the past? Or can we all just get over it and perhaps Giant can quietly learn a lesson or two about toning down their marketing? So let's leave all that aside and take a look at the new bike. Now what is immediately surprising about the Trance 29er is that it's a relatively short travel bike with just 115mm of travel out the back paired with a 130mm fork. Now we were certainly expecting that any 29er version of the Trance would at least match the travel of the 275. The 275 bike has a 150 fork with 140 out back, and we really thought that's what we'd see with the 29er as well. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and draw any conclusions about the bike purely because of the amount of travel that it has. We've ridden plenty of other bikes recently that ride as if they've got far more travel than they actually do. For instance, the Norco Optic 2.9, the Intense Sniper XC, or Pivot's new Trail 429, all ride as if they've got far more travel than they actually have on tap. In any case, suspension travel is definitely secondary to geometry when it comes to making a bike that handles nicely. And when we look at the Trance 29er's geometry, it is really up to speed with the other 29er trail bikes that are out there. The chainstays are 435 long, the head angle is 66.5 degrees with a 44mm offset on the fork, all in keeping with other trail 29ers of the current generation. What is really interesting though is when you compare this bike with the previous version of the Trance 29er from 2015, and it's amazing to see how far geometry has evolved in that time. The new Trance 29er is a whopping 56mm longer in the same size than the previous version. The head angle is 3 degrees slacker and the chainstays are 6mm shorter. So all indications of just how far 29er geometry has evolved in a fairly short period of time. Anyhow, we're intrigued. Can a 115mm travel 29er hang with the current crop of longer travel 29er trail bikes, or is it going to be left for dead due to its shorter legs? We're going to find out pretty soon. We have the Trance 29er 1, the top of the line alloy version of this bike, coming our way to review very shortly. So we'll be able to bring you up to speed and bring you our first ride impressions very shortly.